Also, like, shouldn't I start the timer? Let's see. I mean, we can still improve. Oh my god, this is fucking loud. At least I think so. Let me just fix that. Maybe I'll have to do it in the game. I haven't seen this opening cutscene in a while. Oh hey Lars Ludwig, thank you. Well, thank you. Am I going to stream the remake? Well, as things are standing right now, I do not own a PS4, and I don't expect to get one in the next 10 days, so I leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, isn't that something? So you can already see Cloud's level starts at 0. That is one part that has been randomized. Is this better? Or is it too quiet now? I'm not sure. But I think my ears are bleeding less. So maybe I should keep that. How do you even play this game? I haven't done this in so long, I have no idea. Also, I have like fancy equipment. Look at my fancy garbage. I have stuff like... I even have materia, like... I don't have fire and bolts. I mean, what do you... I don't have bolt and ice, that's what you start with. I have some other shit that I'm not really quite sure about yet. But I have a summon materia, and I have a command materia. And... oh, I have slash all, that's what it says. I have slash all, so that's actually pretty damn OP. And I have some unknown summon. Okay. So, what do these give me? Dream powder. Marvelous. So I believe you always still fight these enemies, but I made it so that I fight more of them now. Oh, and I have a limit break. I wonder what my limit break is gonna be. I could have already checked that. What is my limit break? Oh, it's dynamite. That's perfect. You know, one thing about Limit Breaks is that the graphics, the animation is a bit glitched. But apart from that, everything works out. I mean, I could also randomize names, but if I start doing that, I'm gonna be here like for hours, so I'm just gonna skip that. I mean, the game is confusing enough as it is. Maybe I should call everyone Cloud. Why not that though? That's perfect. I mean, this is gonna make it even more confusing. Yeah, this enemy is new. Also, I have 2 dynamites, apparently. I'm not sure what that is about. But that's interesting. I mean, it seems like I'm getting a lot of SID limit breaks. I have 2 characters now, and I have 2 SID limit breaks. Interesting. So let's check on Barrett's stuff. Barrett has also fancy garbage. What about the stats? Like, interesting. I mean, I can't actually access the materia yet, so I don't know for sure what his materia is. All I know is that, I mean, I can check the magic materia. Oh, it's bio, interesting. I don't know yet though what the purple materia is that David has. Could be anything. Maybe it's underwater. I mean, I know it's not HPMP. But apart from that, it could be anything. Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually noticed that yet, but Barrett's HP, it shouldn't be that low. That's interesting. And you normally get a Phoenix down there, but I got a striking staff. So has anybody in chat tried this randomizer before? Or is this your first time seeing it? I actually have not myself... why am I doing this? This is terrible. I myself have not watched anyone's randomizer playthrough yet. I have only really seen some screenshots. So one thing I know is that... Oh yeah, and the names are changed as well. So I'm currently fighting 2 rogues. Interesting. I know is that because of enemy changes, enemy swaps, like I will fight different enemies in different locations. There are some issues with that, which cause occasional soft locks in battle. And you normally don't get a Fire Fang here, interesting. So you should probably save often in order not to lose too much progress. This is entree. Okay, entree. Please don't kill me, I mean... Is the game already too hard for me? Maybe I should have spent some time practicing this difficult game while I didn't stream. This is, I think, the most recent version that I downloaded for this randomizer. So, I have done some testing, and I have off-stream had some soft locks still. I think if you swap enemies, which I did, there's just no guarantee that everything will work out. So you should be aware of that and just do quite a few safety saves. Also, I normally probably wouldn't do that, but... Also, who has ATB and recommended? That's terrible, like, what was I even thinking? Maybe I should put it on wait, because the game is already quite difficult, and who knows what's gonna happen. I mean, who knows if my shitty equipment is gonna help me at all. Oh, hey, Metallic Guy. Oh, hey, Cascabald. Also, why am I saving tries? This doesn't make no. This makes no sense. Oh, I got HP absorb materia. Oh, that's interesting. So I wonder what boss I'm gonna fight now. I mean, quite honestly, I think it doesn't really matter because I have these OP limit breaks, and because the first few areas of the game are randomized only to such an extent as to make impossible battles impossible. Oh hey, water pickles. Oh look, this looks perfectly normal. I mean, who am I even fighting? I'm fighting Year, Coxie, and Coxie. Okay. This is kind of weaker than I hoped it would be. Okay, but somehow this still kills them. Never mind. Isn't this thing actually immune to bio? I have no idea. Oh yeah, this doesn't do anything. But somehow it still dies, okay. Never mind. I mean, as I said, I think the first few areas of the game have the distinction of being randomized only somewhat, so as to make impossible situations earlier and impossible. So I guess like the first few parts of the game, I mean they're all still randomized, but just the enemies are not, they cannot be too strong for you, which I guess, oh, I should have saved. Maybe you're right, I should have saved, but then again, isn't it too late now anyway? Oh hey MacGyver. Yeah, I've talked to Sega Chief after I did my initial Bing. Okay, Bing. After I did some initial tests. And Sega Chief actually did a poverty version of this randomizer mod, which I was told was inspired by me, which is a great honor. Oh look, these enemies look really interesting. Tolls. I mean, I really like the new names. They are so metaphorically meaningful. It's like they're giving light to fully new wisdoms. Oh look, I have 2 dynamites. I don't know how it works, Walter. I don't know if I will be able to fight some of the late game bosses early on. I'm really not sure. Well, I don't think I'm gonna fight any enemies for a while, so I don't really have to heal. And, I mean, where's the fun in not getting any game overs? I mean, if I see Emerald or Ruby weapon, it should be Emerald or Ruby weapon. What I'm not sure about is whether I can randomly see them in places where I cannot see them because they are bosses. And I'm not sure if literally all enemies are randomized. I think there are some restrictions. And I really miss these amazing fire sound effects. Does this even matter? I mean, it's a shame they didn't randomize the texts. I mean, I would love to see a few subtle changes to dialogue options. I mean, Cloud could ask her about, I don't know. Why about flowers? Why not condoms or strawberry shortcakes? You know, maybe I should fight them and see what happens. You're eating a Trix. That's interesting. What is the spookiest salad? You know, recently I have made myself some salads. And have you heard of this substance called arugula? It is essentially wheat, but you can eat it, and apparently it's some sort of people's favorite fancy salad ingredient. I would not recommend it though. It doesn't really taste like anything. And you have to like buy it, then you have to wash it, and maybe even cut it before you can put it into your salad and marvel at it and eat it. I mean, I'm not really a fan of leafy salad ingredients. Like when I speak of salads, I usually mean just vegetables. I don't like actual salads, as in these green leaves. That's just pointless. No offense. I mean, last time I checked, they have pretty much no nutritional value. I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's kind of true, I think. Oh yeah, and because all of the item things you get have been randomized, where normally I might just get a pointless potion, I can now get just about anything. I mean, I think I already missed a potion that could have been... I have to pick up everything now because of how things are randomized. Where normally I might get a potion, I might now get stuff like a mega elixir, or maybe I don't know if like materia and items have been swapped, so I could get like Knights of the Round instead of where I normally get a potion. But in theory that could happen, so I should make sure to get every shitty item that you normally wouldn't care about. Also, I completely forgot how to do anything, like skips and stuff. Oh, hey, Metallic guy. I mean, I think I have already doubled my active Twitch subscribers by streaming for like 40 minutes. That's astonishing. I mean, I believe you could randomize the music. I mean, there are quite a few things you can randomize. You can also randomize the battle background. So when you have a random battle, the screen that you see can be randomized. I didn't do that though because I felt that just breaks the immersion and it feels kind of pointlessly randomized. I mean, I know it can be funny, but it kind of also just seems too random, I guess. So I didn't enable that option. If you want to experience that, I suppose you have to start off this randomizer yourself while you're watching it to, you know, multitask. That's a thing I hear people sometimes do. And I'm quite good at it. I've really missed these fancy squeaky sound effects. I mean, I wonder how I could live my life without listening to them at least once a day. Like all the sounds of doors opening and floors squeaking. I've truly missed them. So I've decided to just call everyone Cloud because that's gonna make for some amazing dialogue. I mean, I could have named everyone Sephiroth, but someone has actually already done that, I believe. I mean, I could have called everyone Toilet, but I felt I should just keep one character's original name. You need sleep? Sleep is an illusion. You know, I have spoken to some people who say that, I mean, I've read about this before, but I've only recently talked to someone again about this. There's like different sleep patterns. Like, what most people do is they sleep once a day for like, I don't know, 3 to 12 hours, whatever your sleep need is. Probably like on average, I don't know, 8 hours. But you can, in theory at least, also sleep several times for a total of less than what you would have to sleep if you slept only once a day. So instead of sleeping one time for like 8 hours in one segment, you could break up your sleep into 2 times 3 hours, or maybe like 4 times 1 hour. And apparently that works if you have like no social life. Unfortunately, I have not really gotten into that amazing new thing. I have, however, gotten into some other interesting things while I wasn't streaming. I mean, not only have I acquired a seemingly endless supply of spooky stories, but I have also acquired a lot of spooky experiences, which my spooky stories are based on. You did an 8 hours up for sleep. 8 up for sleep. For a few months, and it wasn't fun. That's too bad. Any more spooky cows? No, I have not seen any more spooky cows. I mean, maybe if you mean cows metaphorically, I've seen a lot of spooky cows in the non-literal sense. And speaking about the current situation, like, I live in this spooky dreamland-like country that you probably never heard of, in this greater place that has another name, and there's like a lockdown situation, which means that certain shops are closed and certain institutions no longer operate as they normally would, which has interrupted and quite greatly disrupted a few people's social and professional lives. And based on this, I'm pretty sure that my neighbor, which for the longest time I only suspected so, but I'm pretty sure now that they are actually prostitutes, because brothels are closed now as well, and my neighbor, she's shockingly often at home now, which of course must mean that she's a prostitute, because brothels are closed. I mean, this probably doesn't make any sense to you, what I'm saying right now, but I can assure you it's the logical conclusion I can draw up from this. So it seems that shops are not randomized, which is really unfortunate. I think the way shops work in FF7 is that they are stored, the data of shops is stored in a way that makes altering the data for shops kind of annoying. At least that's what I heard from following the FF7 modding scene. So unfortunately shops and the inventory of shops is not randomized, which is a bit disappointing, I guess. But oh well. Oh, I got Mega Ore. That's quite an improvement. Oh my god, like, what the fuck is even going on? I mean, this is looking interesting. Okay. Oh my god, like, what the fuck? What the fuck is even going on here? I mean, that's garbage, but I have a lot of non-garbage. I mean, this is garbage, but if I average it out, I have a lot of non-garbage, actually, which I must say I'm quite pleased by. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Ultima still requires quite a bit of AP before I can even use it. But, I mean, I guess I shouldn't really complain too much, should I? Wait, you don't get anything else here, do you? I'm just talking to people, which I shouldn't be doing. Wait, didn't it just... Did I even get Mega Ore? Oh yeah, I did, never mind. I mean, have you actually done every tutorial yourself before? I mean, I can say I have, like, but have you? You haven't? Maybe you should try everything in this game, just for the fun of it. It might widen your perspective on life. Isn't there something hidden here? I mean, I haven't played this game in like a while, but I thought you get... Don't you get something here? Like somewhere lying around? Like some kind of garbage, normally? I could be wrong though. I mean, I probably am. I thought there was something in this room, never mind. Have you actually been to this house before? There's nothing in here, but you get to experience more fancy sound effects. And it says toilet there, even though you can't see the toilets, but you can see toilet paper. So how should I even set up my characters? Also, as I said earlier, Tifa's limit breaks are not randomized. Tifa's and Vincent's, as well as Kate Sif's limit breaks are not randomized, but everyone else has fancy randomized limit breaks. Oh, and let's look at her stats as well. So if you look at my character's stats, one thing you notice is the bout's HP is complete fucking garbage. He has way too little HP for his level compared to my other characters. So, starting stats and stat growth has also been randomized, because I thought that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, Tifa can equip more material than I currently have. Isn't that wonderful? So who actually has my highest magic stats? I mean, Tifa has the highest attack, so maybe she should be my attacker. I should probably give her slash all. But I think Cloud has the highest magic stats. Yeah. So let's give them all my fancy materia. I mean, unfortunately I don't have enough MP to cast Bahamut Zero yet. But he can cast Ifrit, I believe. I mean, essentially I have two Mega Alls, because I have two slash all materia, because Mega All functions just like slash all, which is really very nice. Oh yeah, and I should equip my my accessories. I mean, this is not really useful, the amulet. I guess this is kind of useful. And I suppose this is useful as well. And maybe I should save again. And yeah, there's a fairly recent speedrunning skip where you can go straight from this place to Wall Markets. I mean, obviously I don't know how to do it, because I haven't speedrun this game in who knows how long. And it would kind of defeat the purpose of this randomizer as well, so we will not be doing any skips, because we want to get all the garbage. Which means we have to actually do all the game. I mean, interestingly, in this upcoming section, when you go through the train wagons to the train cars, you can pick up, I think, a high potion and some other things. which normally you don't because these items are useless, but because things have been randomized, it might actually be worth it to pick up every shitty item. Luck affects crit rates, evasion and hit rates, which is, I would say, amazing that I still even know this, because I haven't had to explain anybody what crits, what luck does in this game in a few years. But it seems if you once graduate from the prestigious school of FF7 game mechanics, your knowledge is forever ingrained into your brain. You cannot forget these really important things. So I want to go through the through all of the cars, pick up all the items you can get. I forgot. Oh my god. I got basically like the best weapon for Sid. Just I don't think you're supposed to get this weapon like normally. Okay, that's really very nice. Doesn't anyone give me something here as well? Maybe just Gil, I'm not sure. I mean, hey Megastorm. Yeah, that's true. It has been a few years. You sent me nudes on Discord. I mean, that sounds, of course, enticing. Because I don't know how to use the internet to get nudes. So thank you for your most kind acts of charity on the nude poverty side. Also, I'm sorry to inform you, but all of my chat commands are dead. I realize I used to have, at some point in the distant past, several bots that would respond to several commands, but obviously they are all broken, inactive. Don't even assume anything's working. Nothing's working. I wonder what this item is. Oh look, it's a poison ring. I mean, I really like this so far because I'm getting a lot of stuff that you normally don't get, like, way later. I mean, the stream is working, I suppose. That's good. I believe that was what that command was doing indeed. I don't even remember where you... Oh my god, this looks spooky. This is Veep, and this is Floor. Okay. Oh hey, Grand for Legion, how are you? I don't remember how you do this screen casually. There are no items on this screen, it seems. I don't remember this. I've seen this enemy before. When I fought God Scorpion. But I think it has a different name now. I think I passed the ether earlier. The ether was randomized to a poison ring. And this is a micro laser, which is a weapon for birds. Interesting. I mean, this is actually not even a bad weapon at all. I mean, I don't know if this randomizer is supposed to make the game so much easier, because that's what I believe is happening right now. Yes, this randomizer has logic. So you can actually modify what you want to have randomized. And one of the things it makes sure is that early on you don't get overpowered enemies if you swap enemies, because that would be pointless, wouldn't it? You used to be called Setsuna. I must say I remember that name. And I must say I've already heard from like 3 or 5 different people who have said they changed their name. I mean, it's good that you reintroduce yourself if you have in the past mysteriously changed your name to something that is completely different from your old name. It seems I'm alive, but can you really be sure? Do I even still sound the way I used to sound? I mean, I'm basically Kindness 2.0 now. You probably have to compare me to my old version. And you can try to make out what changes have happened in my software and hardware. Hey, evil gal. I mean, have you actually heard me breathe though? Like, are you saying I'm breathing too loudly? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, surprisingly, my Twitter is still very up to date. If people talk to me on Twitter, I usually respond in a very timely manner. I sound like I've eaten more desserts and less tuna. Is that an insinuation of any sort? Because, wow, what the fuck is going on here? These enemies are spooky. And, wow. Someone already died. That's too bad, I guess. Do I actually have any Phoenix Stones? I mean, I have eaten some desserts, but I still have been eating some tuna. I mean, now that we have this interesting apocalypse-like simulation going on in this world, has there ever been a more appropriate time to just hoard tons of tuna cans? I mean, now's the time to really embrace your inner tuna-eating personhood, I suppose. Oh hey, duck feeds. I mean, I have been eating some oatmeal. I probably have, in the last couple of years, been eating more oatmeal than tuna, actually. I know it sounds heretic, but, you know, culinarily I have moved on. I have, like, basically established my own pretty elaborate cult that currently unfortunately has no followers though. So what better way to gain those than by streaming? I am good, how are you? I mean, I really like these new enemy sprites. It's so colorful. Gosh, I mean, that's probably a quite appropriate name for this enemy. I must say this really looks like a gosh. You haven't left your home in 3 weeks. I mean, that's... You're really beating my record. I have not left my home like 8 days. But, I mean, 3 weeks is a long time. Are you currently chained to a wall or something? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm just wondering. I mean, 3 weeks is kind of a long time. Doesn't that require, like, certain logistical setups? Like, is somebody taking care of you? I mean, don't you need to go out to get food? Or have you bought enough cans of tuna and chickpeas to last you like another month or so? I mean, this might also sound kind of cultish / heretic, but you know, these are called dues. I don't think the enemy has... I mean, this name is not as exciting. Anyway, as I was trying to say, this might come as a shock to hear for you, but toilet paper is, and please don't crucify me for saying this, a fairly optional product. I mean, no one truly needs it, I suppose. So, I mean, I don't understand what all the rage is about. I mean, in theory, you could just shower 12 times a day and just completely ignore the need for toilet paper, or just live in the woods and become a barbarian or something. Then too, you wouldn't need any toilet paper. I mean, the numbers I'm bringing up here are just approximations, like guesses. They don't really have to be representations of my routines, you know. When I say you can shower 12 times a day, I was not in any way trying to give you the idea that people have to have bowel movements 12 times a day. I mean, that kind of sounds time-consuming. But yeah, I mean, I've been to Japan, and I can assure you they have fancy toilets there. They have what the premium model is called the Total Washlet, which is a toilet that also doubles as something called a bidet, which is like a fancy I don't know how to paraphrase it other than ass wiping device. It's... You have a Total Washlet. You must be really... what button do I even press? You must be really popular with people then. Like, oh my god, how do you even do this? I mean, people, you're saying that as if people really do. I mean, some people know things, some people don't know things, and I don't really know what people are people. So I don't want to make any assumptions here. What is this randomizer about? So this randomizer, what this specific randomizer option, or what my specific randomizer does, by my I mean the one I'm playing on. I didn't make this randomizer, Sega Chief made this randomizer, and the options I chose for this randomizer make it so that treasure chests are randomized, the content of stuff I get is randomized, and the enemies I fight are randomized. And limit breaks are randomized, so if you have a look at my limit breaks, you can see some things that normally should not be there. And if you look at my stuff I already have, you can see some stuff that shouldn't be there. In particular, my materia list is very attractive looking. I mean, this is really like MILF-DILF quality. I mean, very soon I'm gonna have Ultima, and that's very juicy. Yeah, I have Mega All. I also have Slash All. Also, I should have cleared out all my save files, because now I don't really know which save files I can overwrite and which ones I don't. I should note that to myself. Can I get randomly Master Magic Commander Summon? I suppose I can, but I'm not really sure if there are any restrictions on... I mean, what I know is that some enemies are not random, because that would make the early game impossible. So there are some limits as to what has and has not been randomized. Maybe the same applies to materia, I'm not sure though. Hey Billy, how are you? So unfortunately, because I don't really have enough potions, I just kind of hope I one-hit KO this thing. If not, then maybe I have to do something. I mean, I have not played this game with headphones on in a long time, and I must really say these sound effects are like next level sound effects. I just heard President Shinwa walking on the floor, and every single footstep had like a sound effect that if you're wearing headphones you can actually clearly hear. This game has an amazing budget in the sound department, and this amazing finger snap sound, and now the amazing robot/vacuum cleaner sound effects. I really don't see how the remake can live up to these sound effects. I mean, you mean because you saw the picture? Oh my god, like, are you kidding me? This is looking really spooky. Why am I fighting two roots? I mean, this is like literally two roots. I mean, they weren't filthy, they were just a bit dusty. I mean, I blowed on them, I guess, if you can call that cleaning. I mean, this is not quite what I hoped would happen. I mean, this thing has more HP than I felt it would have, and now I think I'm dead. But the name is quite fitting, I must say. Oh my god. I mean, the battle has been changed to no longer give you a side attack, which means that certain attacks... I mean, I have a potion, I guess I can use that, and hope that somehow I just kill this thing, even though I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, thank you for the heads up. I think I'm dead, right? I mean, I think the more pressing issue is that I don't have any potions or phoenix stones that I can use next time. I mean, normally you have restore materia by this point. I could have actually bought one. Wow, I was really stupid not to do that. I should have... well, never mind. Like... okay. Also, I gained another dynamite limit break. Well, that's really helpful. I mean, never mind. I can still buy fire and red and cure, restore. Next time I go to... can I even come back there? No, I can't. But I'm sure you can buy it somewhere else in a shop. Anyway, now I get another amazing and amazingly named cloud character who will have stuff like materia that is randomized. I wonder what exciting more new materia I get now. And hey, fine lines. I'm glad to see that you have not changed your name, unlike at least half a dozen people in my chat who informed me of the name change. You're hiding in the staff toilets. That's a very smart choice, I must say. I'm doing quite good. I am currently fully immersed in this real-life apocalypse simulator. You know, I'm not sure if you can actually hear me, because I'm not sure if you're listening or if you're just reading chat. But I have not actually left my house in a little over a whole week, so I am living off canned food because, I mean, it's not like I have to, it's just I want to experience the fun of the apocalypse simulation while it lasts. So I've been living off tuna cans and other questionable food, and so far I must say it is pretty much as fun as I expected it to be. I mean, I have not recently eaten arugula because I don't really believe in arugula. I have tried it though. But as I said, I would not recommend it. Arugula is not a fun food. No, we don't have spam in this country here. I'm aware of spam though. Isn't it essentially just canned meat? Hey, Nick Skate. I am sorry to inform you, but this new version of myself, which undoubtedly I am now these days, is not so fond of Toblerone anymore. I really don't like Toblerone, I'm afraid. I don't think the fun fact of arugula changes based on its name. I mean, you can call arugula fun shit, and it still doesn't taste like fun shit. In fact, it doesn't taste any different, even if you call it super fun shit. How is work going for me? I mean, essentially, because I haven't left my house in 8 days, it's kind of boring if you just sit home and have to, like, physically work from your own house. Like, isn't one of the benefits of working somewhere that is not your house that if you make a mess, somebody else has to clean it up? I mean, I would say, and also I should probably just check Era's stuff first. Interesting. What materia does she come with? HP plus, that's nice. And Mystify, okay, that's kind of garbage, but okay. What is Limit Break? Oh my god, another dynamite, because we don't already have enough dynamite yet. I mean, okay. It seems like I'm getting some kind of subliminal messages here about dynamites. I wonder what that's about. Do I have a favorite and least favorite FF game? I mean, I wouldn't say that. I have probably a more interesting categorization. I have, like, a most and least underrated FF game, if I can be so pretentious. I mean, as someone who watches quite a few FF streams, and people being quite in the entire FF game sphere, personally, I feel that some games are more overrated than others. Why is there a rocket in the church? You know, that's actually a very good question. This is actually kind of deep into the FF7 lore, because apparently, I mean, more interestingly, there's also a rocket ship in Bone Village, and people wonder what that's about. What music have I discovered? That is a good question, but unfortunately I have some really, really spooky answers, and I'm not sure I can safely disclose my discoveries because they're really crazy. Like, I'm afraid that I cannot. I mean, this might just be too spooky for you. Like, I'm really concerned for your mental health, and I need to, like, figure out first if you're really mentally stable enough to devour my spooky discoveries. So coming back to the underrated and overrated FF games, I know this might be, but I know this might be a very controversial opinion, but personally, I think that FF9 is one of those two, and you're free to take a guess if I think it's either most underrated or most overrated. I haven't actually thought of another one, but maybe I should just leave it at that. I think that FF9 is is either most underrated or overrated, and I don't really want to say which I think it is, but maybe you can just find that out for yourself, or just make up your own minds. I mean, Billie Eilish is not even spooky. I'm talking real spooky. I mean, let's see what other game is there, so that I can have and actually say that some game in FF9 are the most under and overrated games. I mean, it seems like there's a consensus forming, maybe. I mean, I could explain why I think it's over or underrated. And I should probably buy everything here, because I don't have any of this stuff yet. I mean, I don't have enough money really to buy well, do I need the amulet? I mean, let's be honest, the amulet sucks, doesn't it? I mean, luck plus 10, that's no offense, but that's basically garbage. And I mean, I'm basically having to sell stuff because I'm poor and I can't sell dynamite, so I have to actually do this. Okay, that was, I think, a good idea, good choice. You missed me so much, main account's good permaban. That's a very meaningful compliment coming from you, thank you very much. I mean, I feel being thrown back to when I played this game casually, and I cannot stop spending my gil on frivolous, trivial, important, unimportant stuff. I mean, anyway, maybe it's just my perception, but I personally find that quite a lot of people, or maybe I'm just having really selective perception, but I feel that so many people think that FF9 is the greatest FF game there is, and they are just so full of praise for it. And I can't really quite agree with that. So the point I was trying to make earlier is that I think FF9 is kind of overrated. I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean, maybe, as I said, maybe I'm just having really selective perception, but I cannot tell you how many people I know who think FF9 is all that great, and it's not just that, but it's like the greatest. No, I know I'm meaning FF9, I'm not confusing it. People, at least the ones I know, the ones that I seem to perceive, they are all about FF9. I mean, I'm not talking about like people, I mean, I'm talking about like speedrunners, FF speedrunners, and just people who do the kind of stuff that I used to do in the past, like speedrun several FF games, and these people have, I would say, a very strong bias towards FF9. That I can't quite agree with. I mean, hey Jack Frost. Also, hasn't FF8 actually gotten yet another release? FF8 Remastered? Which, by the way, is quite a stretch to call a remaster, because it's hardly remastered at all compared to the Steam version, is it? Am I going to stream the remake? I mean, in theory, eventually. But, yeah, I do not have a PS4, so that might be a slight problem in the meantime. I mean, I think this not having a PS4 isn't even the biggest issue. I also don't have a setup to stream games from a console that is not my computer. I mean, isn't that probably just about as much of an issue as not having a PS4? I mean, it's not like I cannot procure a PS4. I mean, that's not really the issue here, I think. I could probably get get a PS4. I'm just not sure if I really would use it. I mean, what if the world doesn't even get to April 10th, the release of FF7? I mean, for all I know, I could still be dead before then, so there would be no point in getting one before that date, right? I mean, silver glasses, interesting. I would say I should just play it safe and just wait and see if I even survive until then. I mean, yeah, what's the point of dying before then and just having bought a PS4 for no reason? That'd be kind of pointless. I mean, you're right as well. If I die, then I could also just as well have spent the money. But if I die, then it doesn't really matter either way. So ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you can actually stream directly from PS4? That is interesting. I didn't know that. Well, that puts what I said. That completely invalidates everything I just said. Never mind then. 2 people in your house have the virus. What virus are we talking about? Are we talking about the C-word virus? Are we talking about the H-word virus? Are we talking about the, I mean, what other viruses do I even know? I mean, I'm sure there's also a Z-word virus, the G virus, I don't know, the T virus, the Q virus, maybe even the Qt virus. Do they have the Qt virus? Also, in case you haven't noticed yet, I am gonna name everybody Cloud, because that's a really smart idea. So have I actually looked at her stats yet? Let's see. If I compare... Wow. Aerith has a really low dexterity. And that seems to be all that stands out. She's really slow. Her XP? Yeah, you mean that, but... oh, she has also only 10 MP, I didn't even notice that. Why does she have 10 MP? Because she's garbage, that's why. One thing that's also randomized in this randomizer is characters' starting stats, and also the entire stat growth curve. So basically, in the original game, Aerith has the highest magic stat, both initially and progressing through the levels. In this mod though, all of these stats have been randomized, including her MP, and you can already tell that her MP is garbage. So just about anything can happen. Maybe she will not even be the highest magic stat user in this mod anymore. That could happen. I guess she also has a randomized limit break, but I mean, I'm suspecting to think that it's not really that random if everybody has dynamite, is it? Oh my god, I mean, this just looks really scary, I must say. And the name is also very scary. Isle prods, okay. You know, I feel that so far the enemies are kind of weak. Maybe I have to apply the mod to make enemies just generally stronger, not die in just a single hit. Duchy, okay. Is it named Isle Prods? Oh yeah, okay. I mean, that's an interesting consideration, but I don't think that's how it works. I mean, the randomizer, like, everything is randomized before you start the game. The way this randomizer works is you apply a patch basically to the game. So if you want to have like a new seed, well, basically the seed is produced when you apply the patch. So before you actually start the game. So the naming of my characters should not even affect the seeds. So the names shouldn't have any impact on anything that's being randomized. I mean, to be fair, this randomizer has only been out for like a few months. I think it only came out this year. So obviously it has some issues, but I think it's a very nice randomizer, and I would definitely recommend it if you haven't tried it. Oh, hey Pete McDonald's. How on earth have I been? I have been good and bad. I mean, I've been many things. I suppose you're more asking about how I'm doing currently, maybe? Maybe I'm just making that up, but I'm doing quite good. How are you? I mean, I've experienced, I don't know when we last spoke, but since then, to be fair, I have experienced a lot of spooky things that make you feel all kinds of ways, so it's kind of hard to summarize that in just a few words. I mean, I would even go so far as to say I've had a few, like, life-changing, eye-opening, truly, essential experiences. Not necessarily hardships, but let me just put it like this. Let me put it in like a in a question. Did I get on a roller coaster? Not recently. I think the last roller coaster I was in was a roller coaster in a Japanese amusement park, which was I think 2 years ago. Anyway, I am going to task you with this conundrum of mine. Can you really say that you have lived before you have had a nausea-induced multi-tire vomiting session in a forest just around the time of sunset? Have I had pickled herring? No, I've not. Even though I have a lot of really spooky food experiences I've made, you know, I know this might sound spooky, but I was at several restaurants while I wasn't streaming, and most notably, I was at this restaurant that had food. Like, they were offering food in this restaurant for money. I know it's quite an unusual concept. And no, key items have not been randomized, because that might make the game a bit too impossible. Anyway, I was in this food restaurant, and one of the foods in this food restaurant they had was the final... It was actually like a course restaurant. You had like several courses in that restaurant. And I need to concentrate for a second. Does it even matter? Yeah, it was like a tasting menu. You could choose how many courses you wanted to have. I think between 5 and 9. I mean, technically these numbers are never really true, because before the menu even starts, you get like pre-courses, and then there's like after-courses, which they call like greetings from the kitchen, which it sounds kind of silly, but whatever. It's free food, so you put it in your mouth, swallow it, and be happy. Anyway, the final course was, which I must say is really a truly transcendental experience. Yeah, I mean, if you're cultured, you call them by their funny French name, amuse-bouche, which translates literally to amuse your mouth. Anyway, the final course had, which I must say is a really stylish and amazing way to serve these things. They had what they call a chocolate car. I mean, there isn't really quite, I think, the proper term in English, so I'm kind of trying to find a term. Maybe like chocolate wagon or chocolate... I mean, it's kind of a strange concept, so I'm trying to find a name for that. But they had like a little like a child's trolley that was filled with chocolates, and they come to your table, and they like ask you which of these chocolates you want to sample. And I mean, normally like the polite way to do is like, I think they had like 15 different kinds of chocolates on their chocolate car. And also I think I just messed this up. I mean, I think I saved, so never mind. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I mean, and like the people sitting next to me and my company, my company, like the person that was with me there, like every other table, like chose like I don't know, like 2 or 3. But I mean, there's no rule that says you cannot literally have one of each, so you can do that. I mean, you have to like be kind of polite about it and like have some pointless chit chat about how you cannot resist the thrilling seductions that emanate from this truly just marvelous chocolate cart they are wielding. But then you can do that. Oh, hey, Porch Massey, how are you? Anyway, they also had they had like an almost exactly the same looking cheese car or cheese cart on which they transported cheese. I mean, no, they didn't tell me no. When I, as I said, weirdly slash politely, kindly insinuated that I might have to have every single one of their chocolates, they kind of complied. So it worked out quite nicely, I would say. What did I drink with such a meal? I mean, I'm not really that much into fancy drinks, so I mean, I had just boring sparkling water, and also what I realized is that in fancy restaurants, you don't really pay for the food so much, even though, I mean, you certainly do, but what you really pay for, I believe, is the ridiculous servers. Like, I mean, it's totally unnecessary most of the time, but they have like a different server for like every tiny little thing that you don't really need. Like, they had one person that was there only to salt the butter for you. Like, they had a person who would come to your table and they would offer a tray of butter, like a tiny spherical butter bit under like a little tray. So they would remove the tray and they would have the butter, and that person's job was just to salt the butter for you with like, I mean, you could just do that you could just do that yourself. Like, yeah, it was, yeah, exactly, a dome, that's the word I was looking for. And they would ask you if you would like them to salt the butter for you, which is just a perfectly pointless question because you can just do it yourself. But I mean, if they're offering to do it for you, how could you possibly say no? I mean, also, why did I just do this? This is terrible. I'm just wasting 30 seconds. I mean, I'm not sure if I feel this is a good idea, but it's fun to have somebody just salt your butter. I mean, the butter tray is, compared to the salt device, way too small. I mean, you have like a tiny butter plate. It's almost like a cup. And they have this giant salter. I mean, it looks almost comical. I mean, I normally don't even eat butter, but because I normally don't eat butter, the butter tasted really good. I suppose it just tasted, I mean, just like standard butter tastes. It tasted buttery. It tasted truly like buttery butter. But if you normally do not enjoy the marvelous mystical flavors of buttery butter, then buttery butter will taste like the most extraordinary thing to you. You eat butter about twice a day. Why do you do that? I mean, maybe I'm just getting a wrong idea of myself, but I used to think that my stream is always philosophical, downright educational. I mean, am I not demystifying the great mysteries of life with my unexpected turnings and revelations? They serve fried butter. Wow, that sounds terrible. I never had fried butter. Why would you even fry butter? I mean, if you want to eat something that's very calorie dense, you can just drink olive oil, I guess. I mean, isn't olive oil supposed to be better than butter anyway? So why not just replace butter with oil? Like, maybe even motor oil. Just don't eat butter. Just have a refreshing little glass of motor oil. I mean, due to the current corona situation, the price of oil has fallen quite a bit, so maybe drinking olive oil or motor oil is even a very economical thing to do. Who knows? I mean, have you tried drinking olive oil? I have not, so maybe it doesn't make you throw up, I have no idea. I'm not sure why you would want to do that though. You have tried drinking olive oil? May I inquire why you have done that before? Hey Ionix, I've been good, how are you? I mean, who said that olive oil is good with bread? That's completely new to me. I mean, I guess um, bread is a substance that is quite... I'm not quite sure what the word is that I'm looking for, but it can absorb fluids. So if you have like an oil leakage in your kitchen, like imagine your bottle of olive oil that you have for no real reason just broke and you have to clean up the mess, just put a slice of bread, or better yet a whole loaf of bread, to soak up all the olive oil that's spilling on your kitchen table. Maybe if next time you're having a bath, just don't use a sponge, just use a loaf of bread as a sponge. I mean, it's like an edible sponge. You can have a fun bath time with it, and then even eat it. A chainsaw, wow. This is so relatable. I too have a chainsaw in my torture slash sex basement dungeon. You know, in this place I live in, there is no olive garden. So I have never been to one. I have only heard about it before. How long will I be streaming for? I mean, I cannot really say for sure, but I would estimate that I have not yet reached the halftime point yet, if that's of any help to you, Pete. You think it's a dildo, that white thing on a table? I don't know. Doesn't really look like one. I mean, also aren't dildos usually flesh colored and not white? Which I can say from my manifold visits to the exciting sex shop Zeus in my neighborhood. Yeah, but as far as I can say, unless you're into some kind of vampire fantasy, flesh normally isn't eggshell white. I mean, flesh is more like a beige, brownish color. It's rarely truly flawless white, is it? I mean, I can say that like paper white is not a common color for dildos. I don't believe that what you're trying to say is true. I mean, I'm gonna believe it only when I see it, I guess. Try to find a picture of a white dildo. You might not even find one. Cracker greens. Okay, that's a bit underwhelming, I must say. I mean, also maybe white isn't such a good color because of all the stains you might get. For like, if accidentally your white dildo somehow slipped into your spaghetti with tomato sauce. Just imagine how hard it must be to clean it again. You might have to even put it in the dishwasher to get rid of all the tomato stains on it. And because that is such a likely scenario, the wise, foresightful manufacturers of dildos have decided to not make the dildos white, so that you can clean them more easily from possible tomato sauce stains. Well, I think that's where all the professionals put theirs. So this is Spiff. What an interesting name. Oh my god, are you shitting me? Like, is this just an animation or is it really just an... Okay. Okay. I think this animation is like a little bit buggy because the battle is not continuing. Okay. I think this enemy just killed me. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. This was more dangerous than I thought. Maybe I should not have actually had this dangerous encounter. Thank God I can skip it. I mean, normally this animation is used for Ruby Weapon's Whirl Sand attack, and it ejects the character from battle. And in this case, I think the attack wasn't even supposed to do that, it's just that the animation apparently only really works if the character is removed from battle. So the game just soft-locked there, because the animation is basically not supposed to be used there. So do I have all the items I need now to bypass this? I think so. You know, I kind of wonder if Twitch has seen an increase in their viewer numbers due to this global isolation situation. I heard that some apps and websites and service providers have seen an increase in viewers and traffic. Like, apparently Netflix and YouTube had to actually downgrade the quality options on like European servers because there is too much demand, which I find funny. I mean, I suppose Twitch might suffer the same. Hey, Sun and Showers. I don't remember your name, but clearly you must know me. Did you know I have evolved to embrace completely new culinary oddities? I mean, I haven't actually talked about this yet, but at some point I came to the conclusion that just like as I spoke about earlier in chat, sleeping multiple times a day might be the way to go. Inversely so, for eating, the opposite might be the most efficient way. Which is why I kind of just stumbled into and then haven't found my way out of this interesting new pastime activity of eating only once a day. So now I have all my tuna and oatmeals in just one meal, which is kind of scary and spooky, but also time-saving. I mean, I have only, it's not really breakfast, it's like a late lunch slash early dinner, where I have like 14 different plates that I fill with all kinds of silly things. And then I don't eat until the next day and repeat this whole mess. Yes, Kindness is actually playing. Thanks for asking. I mean, one of the main advantages I found in switching to this new food regimen is that because you only eat once a day, you only have one chance to get stuff stuck between your teeth. And because you normally would clean your teeth afterwards anyway, you don't really have to suffer from this societal great suffrage that is stuff stuck between your teeth for very long. I mean, technically this isn't a ROM hack, but it might just as well be. Oh hey Q-Dog, how are you? I mean, it hasn't been 40 years, because I only turned 38 last year. You missed me so much. Well, I hope you could still cope with it and the missing. Have you tried something else to fill the void? To overcome this hardship? I've been kind of good myself. even though most recently I mentioned earlier that I had a not so great experience with an unintentional sunset scenic forestal vomit session. I mean, apparently when you eat like too much, you're not supposed to like go for a 2-hour run through a forest. Apparently that can kind of mess with your digestion, and you might just lose the food you intook orally again, and it's just not a good idea. Anyway, the next boss normally is abs. I wonder what it's gonna be in this. I hope that wasn't too graphic a description, by the way. I mean, to be fair though, it might sound really bad, but looking back on it now, at least in my memory, I was actually having this experience in a fairly picturesque forest, and it was only getting, it was pretty much exactly at the time of sunset, so the sky was already colored in a fairly majestic looking red, magenta, orange hue, while I was busy bending over a tree trunk and just spewing vomits out of my beautifully wet sunset-colored mouth onto the pristine-looking, at least up to then, forest floor. I wonder if it's actually any point in... I mean, the bending over came from being nauseated. Like, I was... I was feeling too sick because I had eaten too much food too fast, and then I went on a too long forest run. So I was trying to feel comfortable again, but I couldn't. So I actually before I did that, I actually had to literally lie down on the forest floor. Like, you normally should not lie down on a forest because people might have been there, like people and deer and rabbits and like ghosts, and with their people feet and their rabbit feet, their deer feet and their ghost feet, and they might have stained the forest floor, which I had to lay down on because I was feeling like dying, but I couldn't, so yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Anyway, this is an interesting item. I mean, I thought it's just a fun idea to name everyone Clouds. I mean, if you're playing a randomizer... I'm glad you brought up that she only has 10 MP, because I already forgot about that again. She doesn't actually have enough MP to cast magic consistently, so I should switch her equipment with Tifa, because Tifa has more MP than Aerith. Which means that she might actually be able to cast a few spells before she runs out. Okay, this is boring. I thought there would be more or something else. But no, it's just one boring, same looking enemy. This is a bit disappointing, I guess. Let's try this then, I guess. Okay, well, this is strong. I mean, is Ifrit normally this powerful? I mean, I suppose because you normally get it much later. This might really be OP. Interesting. Oh, hey, Frank's the tank. I'm doing good, how are you? Seal, okay. That's a bit underwhelming. I mean, didn't it say seal, or am I just unable to read properly? Because I'm getting steel, not seal. Maybe I just can't read, not sure. What made me stream today? That's a perfect question. You know, I too have been, as an inhabitant of this faraway, creepy, spooky country that I dwell in, been subject to certain alterations to my normal daily routine that left me unable to follow the things I would normally do. So because of that, I felt I should try something else for fun, because all my ordinary ways of acquiring fun require me doing certain things in the outside world that I no longer can quite do to the same extent as I used to. So I thought, why not do this spooky thing again? And I must say I'm quite satisfied with the effect so far. I have seen some FF7 remake footage, but I'm not so sure yet how I feel about the entire gameplay. I guess I'll have to see and wait myself until I play it to decide if I like it or not. Oh, hey, Sire. I mean, I know it must sound shocking to still randomly see me popping up, because I have not been visible for a long time, but oh well. I like to surprise people when they least expect it. It's kind of fun being the spooky, unpredictable enigma, and doing things people don't think you can do. Such as being alive when people think you're probably dead. You know, the other way around is not as fun, though. Well, I'm glad you have your priorities fixed, King of Skills. I mean, no offense, but isn't having a kid like a lot of work and like responsibility, and like do some of those involve like actual physical labor? I mean, no offense, but if you're into that, that's perfectly fine. It's just that I don't see how that's as fun as, I don't know, philosophizing about colors of certain objects and how to make sure they don't get tomato sauce stains. I mean, I once had a cat, and to be honest, that was already too much work. I mean, when I was a child, I even had a dog. And, I mean, dogs are like... I don't know. I think I wouldn't want to have a dog anymore. Dogs are just... I mean, they're kind of cute, and they give you, like, affection and something, but they require you to, like, feed them and, like, go for a walk with them and, like, clean them after them. And I don't know. That's just not really what I'm into. I guess it's to Silash about the children thing. Now, about cats or dogs, I mean, I would say that cats are definitely more independent than dogs. But even cats require work. I mean, cats, most of the time, unless you train them to use like human toilets, you have to like clean their toilets, their cat toilets, exchange the cat litter, then you also have to feed them. I mean, to be honest, even plants are too much work. Like, to be honest, you do not have to do much more than just water plants, but you'd be surprised to hear how many plants have died under my watch. I mean, if plants had to be buried, I would basically have a plant cemetery by now. You know what? I recently learned, interestingly apparently, that spiders and prawns, you know, the seafood, genetically apparently they are quite similar, which I had no idea, but when I thought about it more, and based on how they look, it kind of made sense to me. I mean, prawns have these long, tiny, almost spidery looking legs, and it's not quite hard to imagine that spiders evolved from prawns. I wonder if spiders taste like prawns. I mean, I didn't check it, so I'm not even sure if I'm just spreading false information, but when I heard it, it kind of... I mean, somebody told me that, and I just believed them. Maybe somebody has to check that, whether they actually related genetically or not. But it seemed to make sense to me, and in fact, it seemed to make so much sense to me that I'm even telling you right now about this. But maybe it's complete garbage and somebody was just kidding me. I mean, it seemed quite credible though. I should probably not spend all my gil. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Oh hey Tynave. I mean, did the enemy just die? Like, okay, whatever. I mean, isn't it more likely though that prawns evolved into spiders than the other way around? I mean, I think evolutionarily it's quite unlikely that... I mean, of course I can't really say this for sure, but it seems to me that spiders evolving into prawns is less intuitively likely than prawns evolving into spiders. Okay, this guy is called Fulgen. Interesting. What just happens? I think the graphics are a bit messed up. Because the pyramid is still there, but apparently it's not effective anymore. Okay. I mean, Cloud never was okay, isn't okay, never will be okay, I think. Interactive 7. No, what is that? Sounds like the name of a brothel. It allows Twitch chat to inflict pain on the streamer. Okay. Can you elaborate on that? Is it like some kind of piece of hardware that like sends electric shocks to you if Twitch chat does something? I mean, I can imagine something like that. I can't really imagine why you would want that. Maybe if you're masochistic or something. And you need like a new exciting sexual adventure, just have Twitch chat torture you because, okay. Oh, it's a stream add-on? Oh. So I suppose what I am postulating does not exist. Maybe there's a market gap for that kind of thing. I see. Like, why would anybody want to do that? That sounds terrible. I mean, it might be fun. Interesting. and that's specifically only for FF7. I've never heard of that. It sounds interesting though, I must say. Hey Kruger. So I assume it only works with the PC version for FF7, or how does it work? Oh, it's like the GTA Chaos mods. I have heard of those Chaos mods, not for GTA though. From Super Mario 64 I've heard of them. I know of that Chaos mod. I actually don't know it from any other game. You know, you only know me as this spooky Twitch streamer, but as a Twitch viewer, I watch very strange, diverse, spooky, weird shit on Twitch. Among other things, the greatest gem on Twitch, which is the Twitch food channel. But also like sometimes like games that came out around the same time as FF7. And from watching these things, I have seen Super Mario 64 randomizers, I mean Chaos mods, not randomizers, but I'm sure they exist as well.